Hello, first tonight, more misery for rail travellers as a second two-day strike takes hold.
Negotiations between National Express East Anglia and the rail unions remain deadlocked, with the two sides blaming each other for the breakdown. Today, the unions said there'd been solid support for the strike. In a moment, I'll be talking to Bob Crow from the RMT. But first, let's go live to Ipswich and our chief reporter, Kim Riley.
Susie, for 48 hours, commuters are having to build their working lives around an emergency timetable that truly can be described as a skeleton service. There are no services, vast majority of services in and out of Liverpool Street have been cancelled, virtually no cross-country services across the region. I was here at 7 o'clock this morning as passengers arrived to join one of the very few through services to the capital.
The 7:23 pulls out of Ipswich, already pretty packed. Rail commuters are a tough breed, but are they getting angry?
People just accept it rather than get angry. I think if you travel on this line, if you get angry, then you can have a short life.
Do you feel angry about it?
At times, if you have to especially delay your travel and all. But I think not that angry that, I'll start shouting at them.
You're very calm, you're not angry.
It's the railways, I travel on them a lot. If you got angry every time, you wouldn't survive.
It's just difficult to know who to blame, because it's evidently not National Express, it's not them that's on strike. I guess your easy target's Bob Crow, so I'll have a go at him.
At Liverpool Street, occasional frenetic activity, other platforms deserted. National Express says union demands remain unrealistic. It says ASLEF wants a minimum pay increase of £1,000, taking drivers' average earnings to over £42,000 a year.
ASLEF has not asked for £1,000. This issue is not just about pay. Pay is just a part of it. This whole issue is about poor industrial relations with this company over a long period of time.
At Cambridge, no National Express services into Liverpool Street. Many travellers had made elaborate arrangements to travel via King's Cross.
Instead of running from Liverpool Street to Whittlesford, I had to go via Cambridge today from King's Cross. And now I have to go and wait for the bus for half an hour, and then I got an hour journey on the bus to Whittlesford.
She's found the Queen.
Carol Hume from Fearing in Essex is a registered childminder. The rail strikes mean she's been looking after the children for much longer hours.
We've got a child who's under 1, and his hours are increasing from about 9 hours a day to about 12. And it's a long time for him. It's a long time for him to have to stay away from his mum and dad.
With so few trains running, this evening's return journey from London was always going to be an uncomfortable one.
Well, the hopes now rest on talks on Monday in an attempt to prevent another two-day strike next week. Meantime, tomorrow, I'm afraid it's more of the same.
Kim, thank you very much. Well, Bob Crow, the General Secretary of the RMT, joins us from London now. Mr. Crow, those frustrated commuters are just the tip of the iceberg. We've been inundated with calls and emails from the public on this issue, almost all angry and unsympathetic to your cause.
Well, they're bound to be unsympathetic, and if they can't get trains, which they pay good money for, then they're bound to be angry, and quite rightly so. And we always apologise to the travelling public when we take industrial action. But the reality is either to carry on putting up with an employer that's treating us second class, or do something about it. And our members have had a secret ballot, and they voted by 9-1 to take industrial action. We was promised this year that the company would do away with agency staff off the stations. That's not putting them on the dole queues. That was making them have the full-time positions within the company. They failed to deliver on that, went back on their word, and they've offered a miserly 1% with strings attached. Some of our members earn less than £15,000.
But you talk about a miserly...
It's less than £200 per year.
You talk about a miserly 1%, but can you just tell us plainly what is the case for a bigger pay rise? Because in this economic climate, 1% isn't that bad. Workers are taking pay cuts or working shorter weeks just to hold on to their jobs.
Well, number one, if we don't accept a bigger pay rise, don't think that this company's going to distribute it to the rest of society because they feel sorry for them. And secondly, this company makes a lot of money. It had the East Coast Main Line, it gave it up, and as a result of it, it should have defaulted on these two other franchises that it's got, one of them being National Express East Anglia. They make loads of money. That's why they want to hold on to this franchise. And all we're saying is that we want a fair cut from the success that our members help to make the profits out of.
So
and
what
the
pay rise...
reality is, you know, people talk about people are taking pay cuts. What I've got to say is that, you know, join a trade union and fight. That's the sole reason we're in a union.
What pay rise...